Hi, good morning. I hope everyone can see me okay. Thank you for giving us time to talk about Prezi Video today. Our presentation is titled Using Prezi Video to Give Your Virtual Students the Classroom Feel. It was created by myself and Dr. Ann Hoffman. She is here, but we didn't feel like having a sleepover last night, and she argued that we both wouldn't fit on my screen. So I'll just be presenting it myself today. Before we get started, we just wanted to make it clear that there is no conflict of interest or commercial interest related to Prezi. We have to pay for this just like you will. We just think it's great and we wanted to share it with you. Our goal this morning is really just to show you how valuable Prezi Video can be for both you and your students and show you just a few of the ways that we use it. And we're using it now, so you can kind of see how it works already. So let's talk about that cost and get it out of the way, because nobody wants to sit through even a 15-minute presentation for something that they can't afford. Well, no worries there. Prezi offers educator accounts, and the cost is only $3 a month. They do bill it at $36 a year. The subscription is going to include everything that Prezi has to offer, which we'll talk about, and they also offer a 14-day free trial, so there's no excuse not to try it out. We recommend just getting the EDU Plus. The EDU Pro has some other online analytics and tracking software, but it's nothing that I've ever needed. So now that we know it's affordable, let's talk about why you may like Prezi Video. Creating a personal connection in a virtual classroom or in an online class, it's really hard. And it is for your students too. You shouldn't have to choose between showing your content or showing yourself. With Prezi Video, students can have either a pre-recorded or a live interactive lecture where you can see both you and your content. Because you as an educator know that slides aren't always the most important thing about your lecture. The students want them and they want to see them, and you're not on the right slide, right? But we know that sometimes those slides aren't the biggest deal. This one here is just a picture. It's just there for show. There's no reason for me to make it bigger. But my facial expressions, my body language, my wrinkles on my forehead, those are the things that y'all are looking at, trying to make a connection with me and to retain what I'm saying. And your students need that as well. Live streaming presentations is so easy with Prezi Video because it's already configured to work with Zoom, WebEx, and probably other platforms that you might be using. And even though we're going back to face this fall, we've heard several times today that we've all learned this past year that there are a lot of different ways to teach our classes, conduct our meetings, and even attend conferences. And that doesn't have to completely stop. In fact, our School of Nursing Administration is telling us that they want us to keep everything that we've learned this past year and to make the fall semester even better. Let's keep being creative. Let's keep being flexible and use a variety of ways to teach our students, and Prezi Video can help do that. And speaking of that variety, Prezi Video also gives you a ton of templates to choose from that allow you to customize your presentation. It can match your style, or maybe you want it to match your content. Do you want your lecture to resemble a news broadcast like in the bottom left of the screen? How fun would that be? How fun would your students think that would be? You can customize the look of your presentation the same way that you've been customizing your PowerPoint slides for years. And let's talk about PowerPoint versus Prezi for just a minute. I've been using Prezi for years, and anytime an educator sees me using it and wants to know more about it, once I tell them, the first thing they say is I already have everything in PowerPoint. Well, we can totally understand not wanting to reinvent the wheel. Who has time these days to write all new lectures? And a few years ago, it was pretty tricky to convert a PowerPoint into Prezi Present, which was their older online software. But now with their new software, Prezi Video, it's not hard anymore, and it's not a competition anymore, because you can have both. You can take all of your existing PowerPoint slides, lectures, and use Prezi Video to present them in a better way to your audience. So this is a screenshot of my Prezi Video Desktop app. You can see all my recent videos that I've used and how easy it is to import your PowerPoint slides right into it. It's this middle button. You click it, it'll open up and say, what PowerPoint slides do you want? And you just grab that file. It only takes a few minutes to upload them. And that really is going to depend on how many slides it is, because we know some of you are 80 slide people and some of you might be 20 slide people. But it's only long enough to grab a cup of coffee, come back, sit down, and get ready to record or present your lecture. There's really just so much you can do with Prezi Video. Aside from importing your existing PowerPoint lectures, you can also just create a brand new video. You can add some images of your cute puppies or your kids. This would be great for maybe a course introduction video. Or maybe you can add an image of your syllabus or your course calendar as content and then use it in orientation videos for your students so you don't have to utilize time in that first class of the semester to get your students acclimated. You can also import from Prezi Present online if you've ever used that program before as well. And recording lectures could not be easier with Prezi Video. We get a lot of talk about, well, how's the best way to record this? And at least can I record my voice? Well, now with Prezi Video, you can record both. This is a screenshot of my recording screen. At the top, you'll see all my notes, and that's so I don't forget anything. Just like you can have those notes in PowerPoint, you can have them as well here. At the bottom left, at the very bottom, you'll see I can toggle. I can toggle to just having myself on the screen, having myself and my content on the screen, or of course, just having my content. In the right, you can also see you've got your next slide coming, so you can always see what's coming up next and be prepared. And if you do want your slide to cover that whole screen, you can still see your notes. And here's an example. You can still see your notes on there while you're recording. And especially when you're recording, this particularly is the best time to hit pause. This is one of Dr. Hoffman's favorite parts, is you can blow up that screen to where it covers your whole screen. Your students can't see you, and you can hit pause right there, gather yourself, take a sip of water because you've been talking too long, whatever you need to do. Get your bearings, and then re-record or hit record again, move on. The students don't even notice it. That pause is seamless. They don't know that there was even a second that you paused. So that's really neat. Another way that you can use your Prezi videos is to pre-record them and embed them into another lesson. We use SoftChalk, and I'll show you that. In SoftChalk, students can view their lectures. We do about 10-minute little snippets of lecture, and then we do some activities for them, answering questions, sorting, things like that. Student feedback has been excellent on these lessons, and it could allow you more time for other activities in the face-to-face classroom in the fall. If we record that content, now we have some room for other things. If you aren't familiar with SoftChalk, it is amazing. The School of Nursing provides it to us for free. I'm not certain about all of the schools and how that works, but it is really neat. So check it out at softchalk.com. Also, we just want to point out that while we're here talking specifically about Prezi Video, because it is really what we are seeing makes the most difference in our classes, that $36 a year subscription will give you access to everything that Prezi has to offer, which is Prezi Video, Prezi Design, and Prezi Present. So here's a quick screenshot of Prezi Design, where you can create infographics, reports, posters, dashboards, maps, charts, whatever you want. And the best thing is, you can create something like an infographic in Prezi Design and then add it to a Prezi Video presentation, which is what I did here. I created a timeline infographic of our presentation today, and I added it right into the presentation. We did the first 1 to 5 minutes introducing Prezi Video. Then we spent another 5 minutes talking to you about cool stuff you could do with Prezi Video. And now these last 5 minutes, we need to wrap it up. And I think we're there. So let's start doing that. Now, we all know there's no perfect product for educators. If there were, I know I would have it. They all have strengths and weaknesses. So when we discuss Prezi Video with you, we want you to know the pros and cons of using it. The main pro is that your students can see you and your content at the same time. Remember, they can see just you, they can see just your content. You get to decide. Another pro is that it is so easy to record your lectures. It has that seamless pause that students won't know, and you can still see your notes while you're recording or presenting. It's so easy to import your PowerPoint slides. It just takes a moment, and it keeps those students engaged. Now, some of the cons. It's $3 a month. Now, we know that that's not too expensive, but it's not free. And so for some people, that may be just too much. It's also new tech to learn. We have so much technology circling around us right now that we don't know what to use and which one to pick and which one is best. So that's tough too. It's not hard to learn though. Once you import that PowerPoint, you'll move right along. You also can't have embedded videos in Prezi Video. So if my next slide was a YouTube video or a YouTube clip, it would not play seamlessly as I'm recording or presenting. That's one of the number one things that Prezi is working on from everything that I've read on their forums. It is the number one things for us to be able to have embedded videos. Now, that's not a problem for Ann and I. We do use YouTube clips and things like that, but we just post them into our Blackboard shelf for that learning module. So they're expected to view it there and not during our lecture time. And the last, really, the con that I can think of is if you're not importing those PowerPoint slides over, you may need to you would need to create some kind of a student handout or a note-taking guide for your students, because you know that they love it. They need something in their hand. They want to have your slides on their paper. So it's not a problem. I have been making student handouts for my students since I started teaching. So if you decide this is something you want to do and not use PowerPoint slides, I'd be happy to help you with that. So if you think the Prezi Video is something you'd like to try, we highly recommend it. Once you register through Prezi online, you'll need to download the Prezi Video app at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And don't forget about that free 2-week trial. Things are typically moving just a bit slower for us as educators in the summer, and this is the perfect time to give this a try. Just try importing one PowerPoint lecture over and see what you think. We'd love to hear how it goes. And don't be surprised if you start hearing from your students as well about how much they like the new format, because we get so many emails about it after we do one in Soft Chalk or we present live with it. They just seem to love it. It's just different, and they can see the best of both worlds. So that's about it for us. I hope we're right on time. I may have gone a little too fast there. I'm so sorry. We know that there's so much technology floating around right now, and you may not be willing to add something else to your plate, and that's okay. But if you're here today at the Teaching with Technology conference, there's a good chance you might be looking for something new. So this is probably it. So if you're in the market for an easier way to record or present lectures and maybe spice up your PowerPoint slides a little bit, we think this might be just what you need. We'd love to answer any questions you have right now, or with a product like this, sometimes it's best. Take Prezi up on that 2-week free trial, try importing it, and then let us know if you have any questions or you need any help, because we'd be happy to. We just love this product and we wanted to share it. We hope you do too. Thank you.